everybody, welcome back. It's the return of the Percy Jackson of Poseidon podcast. And season 2 of Percy Jackson and the Olympians just started on Disney Plus. So we're going to go ahead and review the first episode. So it's been a while since we've done the Percy Jackson of Poseidon podcast. You know, just in between the seasons. I have finally finished the first book of the new trilogy, The Chalice of the Gods. So I will be doing a review for that soon. But let's get into the first episode of Season 2. So Season 2 of the show is going to cover Book 2, The Sea of Monsters. So I'm pretty excited. I like Book 2. I think it's a lot of fun. I feel like they've already just kind of have worked at taking some of the problems from Season 1 and fixing them. I think Season 2 is going to be a little bit more of that fun adventure that I think Season 1 was missing a little bit. So let's go ahead and review the first episode. So the first episode opens with Grover searching for Pan in the Sea of Monsters, and he ends up running into some of Luke's minions, we'll call them. That's not actually, I don't think it's actually in the book. I don't think he meets Luke's followers. But we open with Grover, and it turns out it's like also a dream, and Percy's been having these dreams of Grover. We learn that his mom and Tyson's living with them, and we get to meet Tyson, his half-brother. It's a Cyclops, and I really like that sort of family dynamic we get to see. Like, you know, Gabe's out of the picture, the mom is working, and now she's taking care of, you know, Percy and Tyson, and I just kind of like that, and seeing Percy and Tyson's dynamics. And in this, he knows that he's a Cyclops already. I think it was a reveal in the book, but in this one, he already knows he's a Cyclops. And he kind of just feels like he's almost like a little bit of like a, you know, he feels like Tyson is like somebody they have to take care of a little bit, but he doesn't know that he's his brother yet. And we do get the reveal at the end. Poseidon does claim Tyson, and he finds out Tyson's his brother. We actually get a little bit of backstory. Tyson reveals that a Sphinx told him his mom was a naiad and his dad was one of the gods, the big three. So I like this version of Tyson. I think the CGI with the eyeball and just the actor playing Tyson, I think is way better than the movie Sea of Monsters, which I didn't like what they did with Tyson there. I like this Tyson. He is a little bit, kind of slow, but he's not stupid, right? And I feel like the movie version, they really made Tyson kind of like stupid. So this version of Tyson I like a lot better. I like the actor playing him. He's very big. I think he just fits the Tyson character a lot better than the movie. So I like what they did with Tyson. We get Annabeth showing up with the Gray sisters taxi cab. And then there's like this mention of boyfriend. And she's like, you're not my boyfriend. So they're already setting up that Percy-Annabeth relationship. Like Tyson even calls Percy out on it. And Percy's like, hey, so I like everything we're doing with that. This episode definitely does change. There's a lot of changes in this episode from the book, but I think it works with what we're doing with the show. And I feel like a part of it is just me adjusting my brain of like, this is not a direct translation of the books. This is an adaptation, and we just have to kind of go with what they're doing in the show and whether it's good or not. And I feel like this first episode, which I did also like the first episode of season 1 too, thought that was also a good adaptation. The rest of the season, not so much. So let's see, hopefully with Sea of Monsters, it will be better. We already know that we're getting the sirens. We're getting, a lot of stuff from the book that was missing from the movie Sea of Monsters. So, yeah, so there's a lot of stuff. But I really like what they've done with Annabeth here. They do explore that she's been off living with her dad and everything. And, Percy and her talk about, they've been writing letters, but, maybe they've left some stuff out that they're not talking about with each other. And so I really like the dynamic they're setting up with Percy and Annabeth. Then we get Grover's storyline, and he is able to create the empathy link with Percy, which I really liked that touch from the books. And I really do like this version of Grover. I think the actor does a great job. I think he kind of captures that kind of nervous energy that Grover has kind of from the books. So I really like everything they're doing there. And then we do get the giant cannibals that are in the book, but it's a different scene, and they're attacking. They're not actually playing dodgeball at school. They're just throwing like fireballs that the kids are dodging. and they're attacking the camp, and it's a distraction so that Luke could poison Talia's tree. And so I like all of that. And obviously we see Annabeth's like turmoil of like, this is Luke, her friend, and Percy's like, that's not Luke anymore. So I like everything we're doing there. Not a lot of Luke in this episode, but I like kind of what we're setting up. And then we get Tantalus, which I don't like this version of Tantalus. Obviously they didn't want to do the CGI of like a million eyeballs all over him or whatever it was. Yeah, and I know this actor from other things. He's funny. I kind of don't really like that they're just getting like a lot of comedian actors for a lot of these adult roles. I know they're doing that because it's a kids show, but to me that kind of just takes away some of the sort of seriousness of the characters. Even though I thought, well, Megan Mullally did a great job actually. She wasn't playing it comedic. And the guy playing Mr. D, he is hit and miss. Sometimes I think he's doing a good job at Mr. D, and then other times I don't know. So I don't really like what we're doing with Tantalus here, but whatever. And Percy and Annabeth, they want a quest, and because they now know that they need to go get the Golden Fleece, because that's what's going to save Talia's tree. And there's a lot of exposition in this episode, which I think is kind of necessary, and it does a great job at kind of moving on from season 1 and setting up what season 2 is going to be about. And I really like everything they've done there. So overall, I really enjoyed this first episode, and then the previews for the next episodes. I'm really excited to see what they do. We're going to get the chariot race, which is awesome. We got the Luke's ship, the Princess Andromeda. We get a little bit of Clarice here, and I like this actress is doing with Clarice and everything. And so obviously she's going to get a little more to do as the season progresses. So that's going to be interesting just to see how she's going to get along with all these other, Percy and Annabeth and everybody. And they did mention Chiron's not there. That's why Tantalus is there. And so we're going to see what they're going to end up doing with Chiron. But yeah, so this is a pretty good first episode. I thought it had a much, it did a much better job balancing the tone between the comedic elements and the serious drama elements than I feel like season 1 did, where it was mostly drama and not enough fun. So hopefully this season will have a little bit more fun in it. And yeah, I'm pretty much looking forward to it. So yeah, those are pretty much my thoughts on the first episode of Percy Jackson Season 2. And stay tuned for my review of Episode 2, and then also a review for the book, Percy Jackson and the Olympians, The Chalice of the Gods, which is a new trilogy of books with a Percy that's a senior in high school. Anyway, yeah, those are my thoughts on the first episode. Let me know what you guys think. Did you guys really enjoy it as much as I did? Or do you think it's kind of just on par with season 1, or even not even that great? I really enjoyed it. Again, I think I'd like once I got over, that this is an adaptation, I think I like this adaptation and what they're doing. So anyway, yeah, so stay tuned to the channel. Thank you all for watching the Percy Jackson, Son of Poseidon podcast. Bye.